Hey there, welcome back. We're into lesson number 5 now, and we're talking about time wasters and my simple system to avoid them on this lesson. And boy, is this a biggie for most people. I can tell you one thing, I meet very few people who are well organized with their time, and I don't know why they don't teach this in school, to be honest with you. I learned it way back, probably 30 years ago now. And I learned it by going to seminars and listening to people who are well organized. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time with you telling you how I handle paper flow coming through here. And then on the next lesson I want to tell you how about my planner and how I stay organized and keep my promises and have others keep them to me and the like. So let's start with my desk. This is my desk. Now my staff asked me to clean up my desk for this video, and I said no, I'm not going to do it. This is my real desk. This is my real office, this is my real stuff, and this is where I work when I'm in the building. And I'm here usually every day by the crack of noon or so, and work 4 or 5 hours and then head back home to my home office. So I want to show you how we handle paper flow around here by showing you the real deal. First of all, there's paper that comes into me. That paper is either going to be emails that Tish, my personal assistant for 9 years now, prints out for me. Are there going to be faxes? Are there going to be mail? When Tish prints out this stuff that she wants me to see, she puts it in my inbox, which is right over here. See, I have some inbox stuff here right now that I haven't looked at yet. And when I get through with this video, I'll reach over here and I'll take that paperwork out of my inbox and I'll put it in front of me and I'll decide where it's going to go. And in fact, I think I'll just do that right now, right in front of you. Here's a bill that I'm going to okay. Now I've okayed this bill. Now what am I going to do with it? I'm going to put it in the out box over here for Tish to pick up and distribute to wherever it goes. In this case, it'll go to Melanie, who is in my bookkeeping department, and she will get that bill paid. And here's another one right behind it. I'm going to do the same thing with that one. All I'm doing is paying bills here today. Here's another one. By the way, this is how I pay bills. I don't write checks. I don't even sign checks. I have Melanie do that for me. Here's another bill. Wow, it's bill day. So these 4 things have just gone through me that fast. Now watch what I've done. Incoming basket. If it's there, I pick it up, I put it in front of me, and I usually reroute it. Here I've rerouted it. Now, there's really only 4 things that I'm going to do with that paperwork. So let's talk about that. And I'm going to give you an easy to remember system to do it. I'm either going to file it. Now in my case, if I file it, I'm going to put file on it and put it right back there for Tish to file or get filed. I'm not personally filing it. In your case, you might put it in a pile and file it when you're through processing the paperwork. Up to you. If I'm not going to file it, then I'm going to act on it. Act-oning it is what I just did. I acted on these invoices by okaying them. If I need to do more than give it a quick look like that, then I will put it in front of me in a pile like this on my desk to get to. Now this is my system. You can do it any way you want. But this pile right here on my desk is a pile that I know that before this day is over, I've got to act on and get off of my desk, because I will not let myself go home until this pile is off my desk. Now you notice I put it in, I just line them up here, and there really is no order that they're lined up in. I just grab the first one and whatever it requires. For example, here is something from my attorney that I am to read and okay. Well, I'm going to read that in a few minutes, and when I get through reading it, I'm going to say okay, and I'm going to put it in the outgoing pile, or I'm going to do, that's called rerouting. I'm either filing it or having it filed, or I'm acting on it. If I can't act on it now, like I just did, then I'll put it in a pile to be acted on when I get around to it. By the way, when I get to this pile, I'm going to knock out the entire pile at one time. What I don't want to do is stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. So I put all the stuff that requires me more than a moment's worth of attention in one pile, and then when I get to that pile, boom, I knock out the whole pile. And of course that pile is either going to be rerouted or number 4, trashed. So we're either going to file it We're going to act on it, we're going to reroute it, or we're going to trash it. That would be what a trash can looks like, sitting right under my desk. By the end of the day, that pile is gone. When I leave tonight, there will be a big old blank spot right there on my desk. By the way, this pile here, I just leave sit there because this is commercial projects that I'm working on today with students. I have several commercial projects. Incidentally, we just put this one under contract. It's an apartment complex, and I've got 2 or 3 more that we're working on, so I leave them right there where I can get to them. Incidentally, this rack here are files that I work on almost daily. I have one here for several people in the building that require me to keep a little bit of information on, so I keep it right there where I can grab it and get it at my disposal quickly. So, let me go one more time at my simple system. Oh, here's one you like. I have a little button on my desk. Watch this.
No, no, no. For the last time, no, 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 no.
So I love this button. Not hard for me to say no at all. Oh, I got to show you my merry-go-round here. This is Beverly got me a merry-go-round over here for Christmas, so it actually works. That's because of my carnival background. Yeah, I know, cute, right? Okay, all right. So, well, there's my name plaque. And over here, I actually keep a writing pad, and I keep this for a very good reason. You'll notice that this one has got writing on it. So, what I do every day is I use this for major tasks. It's one thing to assign your PA or your VA a task, but it's another thing to see that that task gets done. So what I do here on the major items that I give Tish to do, I just write down here. I got Tish, I just write down those major tasks, and then every couple of days I just grab that pad over there and pick it up, and if those tasks are done, I'll check it off, and if they're not, I'll inquire to her why they are not done. So, so let me go through this system again. Number 1, I'm either going to file it, or number 2, I'm going to act on it, or number 3, I'm going to reroute it, or number 4, I'm going to trash it. So in other words, I'm going to fart on it. F-A-R-T. I hope that will help you remember. File, act, reroute, trash. We're going to fart on it. All right. What's our next subject? And that is telephone time suck. Oh, by the way, I want to show you a picture of what your office should not look like. If your office looks like this, you got a problem. And that is, you refuse to reroute, act, or trash. You got to do something to clean this mess out. I know what you're saying, but I know where everything is at. Well, guys, if your office looks like that, it's because you're not getting anything to a conclusion, and you're an unorganized mess. Okay, let's talk about telephone time suck here for a minute. And there are several versions of that. Number 1 is your cell phone. Look, my cell phone is right here, just like yours is. It's not far from you. But the difference between me and most people is when this cell phone rings, I'm not going to answer it. I'm going to let it go to voicemail. Unless, of course, it's my wife calling. Then I'm going to answer it immediately like a good husband should. But other than that, it's going to go to voicemail. And when I get around to it, I'm going to call the people back if I choose to. I'll take out a sheet here. I have a sheet that I use, just one piece of paper to take these calls and put them on it. Boom, 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 boom. As I write it, and then I call them all back at one time. It's also the same sheet that Tish uses to give me calls on. And so I'll sit here, and if I call them back, I'll put left message or check it off. Then I call them back. When I get through with the sheet, I turn around and stick it right in my tray right behind me. And then it's there in case I need it. I usually keep them for about a month, and then I take the bottom half out and throw them away and leave the top half there for another month or two in case I have to refer back to them, and sometimes I do. But when people call on the cell, they simply don't answer it. You realize how much time you'd waste in a day if you're answering every single call that comes in. They interrupt your line of thought. You might be in the middle of a project. You have to stop, start all over again, and it's an enormous time suck. It's an enormous time waster. In addition to that, do you know that there's no law that says you have to call people back just because they called you? It's not federal or state law. And people call you that you have no reason to call back. Why don't you just don't call them back? It's not rude. It's rude for them to call you and expect to waste your time when you have no reason to give them that time. You don't have to call them back. At least you can take them off here and clump them all in one place and call them back. It only takes a few minutes instead of stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. Same thing true with the phone on your desk. If you actually use a real landline today and you don't have anybody to route it through, let it go to voicemail. Nobody's going to die, and then call them back when you're ready. So I don't allow telephone time suck to suck up my life. I will call them back when I'm ready, not interrupt my life when they think it's time for me to answer their phone. I have a office in my house, and I have an office here. You'll find them both pretty much set up the same way. And in my home, if I want to delegate it, I just put it in my briefcase and I bring it in with me if it's not done by emails. So let's talk about emails for a minute. You talk about a serious time waster, time suck. I get a few emails direct from people that I'm working with closely, such as my restaurant contractor right now. And I certainly get emails from Tish, and I get emails from Jennifer, who runs Global, and a couple, 3 people on my staff. Those are about the only people that I get emails from, except for a few outside relationships that I open myself up to. All other emails go through Tish. When Tish gets the email, she can email it to me if she finds it of anything that I have to respond to. If she doesn't, she just cancels it. If she thinks she needs to print it out, then she'll print it out and she'll put it in my tray, and I showed you what I do with that. But guys, if you try to sit here and personally answer every single email, some of you get hundreds and hundreds of emails a day. Geez, it's no wonder you don't have time to get anything productive done. You got to get that crap out of your life. You probably should take your junk mail file folder right now and kill your email address and go get another one, and stop that garbage from coming in. Then you're not tempted to look at it. And if you've got an iPad, look, I got an iPad. Looky here. I'm cool. I'm hip. I got an iPad. But you know what? There's no dinger on it. Well, if I get an email, I won't know it until I decide to open my iPad up. I intentionally turned off the dinger because nobody can sit here and concentrate on anything when it goes ding, ding. You got to open it up to see what the email was. Turn it off. Then you aren't prompted to open it up. Time suck, time suck, time suck. So I cluster the outbound calls. I let the inbound calls go to voicemail, or Tish handles them for me. And I only talk to people that I have a reason to talk to. And that avoids constant interruption. When I'm in this building here, if I do not want to be interrupted, I simply close the doors. Closed doors means enter at your own peril, and you may not exit. You may not live. And people know that. Rarely do I close my doors, but when I close them, they're closed for a reason. Why don't you do the same thing in your office, whether it be in your home or in your office? When you close the door, stay out, even if you're married to me. If the door is open, you're welcome to come in and interrupt me, no problem. When it's closed, stay out. And by the way, Deborah is filming this. Deborah, why don't you pick up that camera and turn it around and show them the couch you're sitting on, so they can see that in my office I actually have a couch. By the way, guys, this couch is not for me to counsel people. I'm not a psychiatrist. This couch is for me to actually sit down or lay down and take a nap on if I choose to. It's there for me to go. You know, sometimes you just run out of steam and you want to go lay down. I can take a 15-minute nap on that couch, and I'm get up and I'm ready to go. So maybe you do or you don't have a place to put a couch in your office, but I have one in my office, and that's exactly what it's there for. So, you know, it's just a thought. All right, well, that's just a few thoughts. I know that certainly is not going to make you some overnight success at organization, but it's a good start. Come spend 3 days with me where I have time to go through all of this stuff in much more detail and get some class involvement in it, and you'll get a lot more out of it. But I hope you got some good tips out of that. All right, so that's the end of this lesson. I'll see you on the next lesson here coming up in a couple of days.